Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel and a very big welcome to the sign of Capricorn. And that's if you have your sun in Capricorn, your rising sign that is also known as the ascendant, or your moon sign, because this is your ultimate overview for everything you need to know to navigate the very interesting energies of 2024. Let's start at the beginning because this is going to be quite an interesting year for everybody in different ways, because there are some major things happening in the skies. And, you know, if you haven't seen my overview to 2024, the very general overview, then I suggest you do check it out because it will give you a better idea of the whole collective energy of what we're all going to experience in 2024. And I describe it in the overview as a bit like Cape Horn, where you've got these two massive oceans, the Atlantic on one side, the Pacific on the other, with no land on either side. And they meet and they kind of have to mix and have to kind of find a way to get together. And that's really the kind of energy that I think is a good metaphor to describe what is happening in 2024. And especially for you, Capricorn, because of course, your long-term resident, that wonderful planet Pluto, the planet of transformation and the planet of personal empowerment, finally leaves your sign, but not quite yet. You still have its energy around a few times in 2024 to tidy up anything that you still have left unstructured, not mixed up, not kind of set in a way that is manageable for you. So it's a good time to finally sort out the final touches to how you want to go forward through 2024 and 2025. But let's start at the beginning, because in January, Mercury is retrograde, of course, in your sign, in your first house. So in many ways, this has been slowing down things for you a bit, but that's okay, because you might have found over the Christmas and New Year period that things have got altered, changed, delayed. Things haven't happened maybe due to the seasonal ailments that we get, or even bad weather, because there's a lot of that kind of energy around at the beginning of the year. And so Mercury, the planet of communication, that went retrograde on the 13th of December in your sign, moved back into Sagittarius. And of course, that's the part of your chart that's to do with the inner you. So it's given you time for a little bit of downtime and a time for personal reflection. You might have found people have been just a little bit distant or unavailable. But you know, that's all right, because what it's done is it's given you the time to actually sort a lot of things out for yourself, your thinking, your direction, your soul path for 2024. Now, Mercury goes direct on January the 2nd in your 12th house. So by the 2nd, I think you will have a much clearer vision of the direction you want to take in 2024. Now, there are other things happening in January, but I just want to leap ahead to the main event, because this is an important transit for you and for everybody, because Pluto, my big outer boy, our big little dwarf planet, the planet of transformation that's been in your sign for about 18 years, transforming your whole life. Some of you will have just undergone the most enormous changes. There will only be a few Capricorns that have not been touched by this particular energy, and that may be determined by the other aspects in your chart. But on the 21st of January, Pluto will make its next move into Aquarius, which of course is your second house of finance, economy. It's also about how you value yourself, your self-worth. It's also about how you make your money, what you do to balance your own personal books. And so the 21st of January is actually a day you need to kind of underline a bit, because at the same time as Pluto moving into Aquarius, the Sun is there and moves into Aquarius to be conjunct Pluto, the Sun, our beating heart of our solar system, the Sun, our soul energy, our life giver. And the fact that the Sun symbolically heralds or lights the way for Pluto, that is so far distant from our solar system, from the center of our solar system. It's out there in the invisible realms of the Kuiper Belt. And the fact that the Sun is there, sort of almost lighting the way, is a really positive sign. So that energy will be around until, well, we're looking at sort of July, September, August, September, because on the 2nd of September, Pluto will be back in Capricorn and it will be retrograde. So it'll be giving you a chance to tidy things up. That will be through the summer months. I'm being vague about dates because with these major aspects, it's really difficult sometimes to kind of pinpoint them down to a certain point in time. So with the events of this year and the month that I really want to get to, which is April, February and March have their significant events. We have, our moons, our new moons, our full moons. And Mercury, again, our planet of communication, goes retrograde in Aries on the 1st of April. Now, this, of course, is your 4th house of home. Home, family, ancestry, your ancestral line. And with Mercury retrograde here, it seems as if there's a lot that needs to be discussed with your nearest and dearest in your family, if you have a family. If you are on your own or have no family around you, then this will be the people that you are closest to, because friends are often closer than family. So then we come to the 8th of April, still in your 4th house, Aries, part of your chart that's to do with your home and your family. We have a new moon total solar eclipse in Aries. This is big. This a lot of astrologers will be talking about nearer the time. And I will, of course, do a video for this particular solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse. It's visible over most of North America, parts of the north of South America, Western Europe, and the Atlantic. So it's going to have an effect on world events significantly, as well as you personally, and the rest of us personally. Are you moving house again? Are you going to be thinking about it? Or some of you may even be considering moving country or moving a long distance within the country your residency is in. But there will be big changes for you to do with the home and or family over the next few months. Now then we come to the 20th of April. As you can see, April is a very important month because your 5th house, as I fondly call your house of fun, Taurus, where you like to luxuriate a bit sometimes and do exciting, interesting things. If you hear any rumblings in the background, it's my pussycats. They've woken up. Well, of course they would, wouldn't they? Just because I'm settling down to record these videos, they think, oh, Mummy's working. I think we'll wake up and play and make a noise. Back to your chart. And Taurus and your 5th house. Because normally we get Chanticleer, but I've got the windows closed, so we don't have Chanticleer today. Big conjunction in Taurus on the 20th of April. Mark this in your calendar. My 2 big outer boys, Jupiter, the planet of luck and opportunity, expansion, also those kind of higher realms of energies and spirituality. So quite a spiritual planet, Jupiter. And it's conjunct my other big boy, Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, of shocks, of literally the earth moving. There's going to be big changes for you again this year, Capricorn. Just when you thought you were out of the woods and you could sit back and relax a bit, in comes 2024 thinking, I don't think so, not yet. There are going to be big changes. This will also be in your social circle. So you will find your social circle will change, and change dramatically, but in a very interesting way. By the 25th of May, Jupiter, our planet of luck and opportunity, moves into Gemini, our sign of communication. And this is your 6th house of your day-to-day working routine. It's also the sign or the house of service to others, and also your health. Jupiter here, I think, sees you being very busy with whatever it is that you do that rocks your soul, that you work with, whether you're still have a career or a job or are working, or whether you're a retired person or a stay-at-home mum, then you're going to have an awful lot to say about an awful lot of things. And you are just going to be, your mind is going to be buzzing. You are going to be rearranging your routine in a way to suit you. It's almost as if you're saying, I've really had enough of always trying to fit in with everybody else, Capricorn. And so this entry of Jupiter into Gemini is a bit like you saying, now it's my time. Now it's me time. Time for me. The other thing about Jupiter in Gemini is the danger of overthinking and a touch, dare I say it, of paranoia. Now, that's not normally like you, Capricorn, but just be mindful of it. There may be things happening in your life, because remember, this is also the house of health. So you may be overthinking maybe, some health concerns. You may be overthinking them and making them into something bigger than they need to be. The way to nip it in the bud is what you normally do, Capricorn. You address it and you sort it out. So try and stay calm and just address what comes up. Now, at this point, I'm going to plop in a little advert. I just thought, why not? Because if you'd like to make a little bit more sense of 2024, why don't you treat yourself to a new reading for 2024, to a one-to-one with me, where you have your chart looked at, your natal chart. Don't worry if you don't know your time of birth. I can do something called rectification. I'm not going to explain how it works, but it works, and it's usually pretty accurate to find out what your rising sign is. So you can email me via my website, pennydix.com. I'm a bit of a dinosaur and I still do things in the old-fashioned way. That means emailing me on penny@pennydix.com. We have a little chat and we discuss the best time for both of us, because we're bound to be in different time zones. And just to give you a little bit of kind of sense of the distances we're dealing with, I'm in the Central European area, so Central European time. So I am 6 hours ahead of New York time, if that gives you a little bit of a clue as to where I am. So please, I'd love to see you and do a reading for you. My fees are going to be going up a little bit, not much, at the beginning of January or maybe in February. So if you, let's say I'll make a decision now. If you book by the end of January, it'll be the old fees. And from February onwards, they will have gone up a bit. It's to cover costs. I have to pay for Techie Jerry. I have to pay all these subscriptions to things that we use to make all this work. And of course, there's my lovely, beautiful thumbnail lady, Andrea Britton. I have to pay her. She's going to do lots of marketing for me. So, end of advert, back to your reading. Now, the next one is a date you need to be mindful of. July the 15th, because Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, and aggression, sometimes it can be a red light, danger and accidents, is conjunct Uranus in Taurus, in your 5th house, the house of fun. Now remember, Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. I mean, on one level, you could be having fun at a party, and you need to be careful when you're dancing on the table that you don't fall off and hurt yourself badly. There's a tendency with this energy for accidents in general, for every sign in differing ways. So I'm telling every sign about July the 15th. Please don't fear it. But if I were you, if we're mindful of something, then we think more clearly about perhaps what we're going to be doing that day. Perhaps it's not the best day to go hang gliding or rock climbing or parachute jumping. It's just not good energy. So now let's come back to Pluto, our planet of transformation and personal empowerment, because it's now back, of course, in your sign, in your first house, Capricorn, from the 2nd of September. So it's gone retrograde back through Aquarius, only at like 1 and 0 degrees. So it's hardly moving at all. And it's back in your sign. You just need to be aware that it is there to support you. Pluto is there to show you the way, to help you transform what you haven't transformed about you, how you want to change, how you want to really inhabit the grown-up adult part of you. A lot of us get caught up, whatever sign we are, in acting out and living our inner child out. And this is one of the gifts of Capricorn and you and your sign. Capricorns are almost born grown up. And so Pluto coming back into your sign is kind of giving you that little nudge, saying, come on, chance for you. Get things in order. Get your, I'm going to say cats in a row. Actually, you don't get your cats in a row because they'll never sit still. Let's go back to ducks. Ducks will do. I've got plenty of them next door. And in the summer when I record, you're probably very aware of the quacking that we get. So get your ducks in a row whilst Pluto is back in your sign. On the 17th of September, now this is not to mean that nothing happens. I know I'm leaping around a bit, but if you're watching me, you're used to me by now, so you know what I'm like. If you haven't seen me before, you're thinking, who is this woman? She's completely crazy. Well, you're right with that. So, but if you want to stay to the end, you might enjoy it. So, because June, July and August, apart from July the 15th, the summer months come and go. There are things going on. Absolutely. We've got the solstice, for instance. We've got a lot of interesting energies, but we really would be here all night if I went through every single energy. I'm just trying to give you, I could almost do this in one sentence. Think of two oceans, massive oceans, trying to meet and mingle. Those are the energies we're all dealing with in 2024. So let's move on to the 17th of September, where we have a lunar eclipse, which means it's a full moon, in Pisces, my oceans of emotions, in the 3rd house. Now, this is the part of your chart to do with communication. Anything that needs to be addressed, if you've had crosswords with anyone, then this lunar eclipse is really giving you a heads up and saying, this is an excellent time to kiss and make up, to make amends, to look at the issues that you've both got a bit locked on and see if you can sort it out, sort things out. A good discussion is what you need. Both of you need to kind of perhaps retreat to your particular caves and then come and meet in the middle and discuss it all. And then we always have eclipses in pairs. So there's a new moon solar eclipse in Libra in your 10th house of career. And this is on the 2nd of October. Now it's Libra, so of course it is about balance and harmony. And it is your career house, or your house of passion, or your soul path. And remember, if you're retired, it's just what you love doing, what you think you might have been brought to planet Earth for. Because that's the other thing I want to talk about. This year is going to prove to be a highly spiritually enlightening year for every single zodiac sign. Pluto's move into Aquarius is massive, but I'll come to that in a minute. First of all, we've got this solar eclipse in Libra in your 10th. This is asking you to make some new kind of inroads into the chosen career path that you're doing. It may be that there have been parts of the work you're doing that are kind of hidden, that you kind of need a little bit of help to bring them out of the shadows and let them make sense, because it's an eclipse. So something is being shadowed. Maybe you feel overshadowed at work. And maybe this is a serious conversation that you have to have. Remember that lunar eclipse on the 17th of September in Pisces, in your 3rd house of communication. This could very well mean that there needs to be some serious conversations with anyone who is trying to dull your sparkle or just get in your way. So Pluto goes direct in your sign on the 11th of October. And it will not be retrograde in your sign for another 200 and something like 47 years. Isn't that awesome? So that where it's going now really is virgin territory for a lot of us, because some people have been born with Pluto in Capricorn. Some people are coming up to their kind of mid-teens, late teens, and they've only known Pluto in Capricorn. But on the 19th of November, Pluto will finally move into your 2nd house of Aquarius. This is going to revolutionize, change, transform your whole economic system, whatever method it is you use to take care of your financial situation, the way you make money, the way you look after your finances, is going to undergo a massive transformation. Also, there is something about Pluto's move into this sign about how you value yourself, because Pluto, if it wasn't able to get you to do that, if it was still that you were still feeling a little bit of not having enough self-respect, not having enough self-esteem whilst Pluto was in your sign. Pluto in your 2nd house is really asking you to find that self-worth, and you find it through your spirituality, because it's Aquarius. This is about you raising your energies, your whole sense of superconsciousness or superconscious, to a level and a frequency where you really get into that energy of these two massive oceans that are melding away. that are mixing, that are shifting, that are bringing their two powerful currents together. Big things, Capricorn, big things. There'll be the loss and the grief of losing this mighty planet from your sign. Because you will notice, in a sense, a certain amount of seriousness lifted from your shoulders. You will find that you do breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. But you see, now it's about working on your spiritual self and less of working on your physical self. By the 26th of November, we have Mercury, our planet of communication, going retrograde in your 12th house, Sagittarius. Isn't it interesting? That's what's happening now. As I record this video in the beginning of December, that is absolutely what is happening. Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius. So, and then it will go direct and eventually end up back in your sign. So it's getting you to look again at that inner you, at the things that you need to change. And remember, retrogrades are about reviewing, relooking, re-knowing, remembering. It's your 12th house. And Sagittarius is actually a fun sign. It can be excitable. So there's sometimes, under your quite stern and grown-up exterior, there's a really fun person, and you don't always let that side show. But we have another retrograde. Mars, our planet of energy, action, and assertion, which goes retrograde approximately every 18 months to 2 years, goes retrograde in Leo in your 8th house on the 6th of December. Now, the 8th is about joint finance and pensions. It can also be about beginnings, endings. It could be about realizing something that has to be realized financially wise. But it's Mars. It's Leo. I would suggest you try to be mindful about how you manage your finance at this time through this particular retrograde period, because it may be you are feeling pushed into making dramatic or drastic decisions that you're really not ready to do. And Mars will move in its retrograde phase into Cancer, your 7th house, where it'll add a little bit of spice to your sex life and your personal relationships, which can't be bad. But that's really at the end of the year and into January 2025. So we're already ahead of ourselves. Mercury goes direct in your 12th house on the 15th of December. So for you, 2024 Christmas New Year ends on quite a good note, with quite nice, helpful, gentle energies, apart from that Mars retrograde. But perhaps in a sense, it's a good thing that it's happening over Christmas and New Year, so that things like institutions and banks will be shut. So you can't make any drastic changes that aren't well thought through, because that Mars energy could make you a little bit impulsive. Then Mars finally goes direct in your 7th house of Cancer in February 2025. And that's on the 24th of February. Wow. Well, Capricorn, what a big, big year this is going to be for all of us and you. Listen, thank you so much for joining me for this quite long overview of the energies for 2024 for you. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, on my website, pennydix.com, we've still got available to purchase and download the beginner's guide to reading your natal chart. And I am going to do some add-ons to that, but they haven't happened yet, so they will be part of the new package. And also there's the lovely calendar that Andrea Britton has done, and that can be downloaded and laminated and put on a wall. It's a calendar for the moon phases, so it helps you recognize and work with the moon energies, and that's always quite a good thing to do. So in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, Capricorn. I wish you a supercharged and blessed and happy and successful 2024. And I look forward to seeing you again on my channel soon. Bye for now.